Hello, everybody. Becky Raney here, and it is so cold out. We got snow happening outside, and it is the season for Christmas. And doTERRA announced a holiday baking set, and many of my leaders have been saying, "Well, how do you use that for cooking and baking, and how can I use that in my dishes for the holidays?" And well, quite frankly, throughout the year, right? And so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen and give you some really great ideas here. And let's get this in the present mode. Okay. So the holiday baking set that doTERRA just announced is the tangerine, rosemary, and ginger. And these three essential oils, if you notice down here that there's a little square with a dot on the doTERRA India website, that indicates that these are oils that you can take internally. And so that's really cool. And as we go through here and flip through the pages, there, got it working. The holiday baking kit is actually 4,700 Indian rupees as a wellness advocate member. If you're not yet a member, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you get your account set up and get you started. These oils, tangerine, rosemary, and ginger, are my primary focus of this presentation. However, I'm also introducing other essential oils that you may have and or would like to use. doTERRA is the number one essential oil company in the world. And with that in mind, we actually have essential oils that you can take internally because of our purity. And so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about how to get started with these oils. Now, you don't want to, when you're looking at a specific recipe, you don't want to just drop the oil directly into the dish. You will waste the whole batch because sometimes two, three, four drops might come out very quickly. And these oils are so potent. In many recipes, one drop is too much. So I'm going to show you some tricks on how to do that. You want to also be mindful of cookware. So, for example, in this photo, this person is using a glass bowl and a metal spoon to do the stirring. So, be mindful that using a plastic item, they have are made out of petroleum, and some of these citrus oils can actually eat away at that dish or the bowl, the spoon, and that will cause more toxicity into your batch. And our whole goal here as wellness advocates is we are really wanting to serve our goals for being more healthy and getting rid of those toxins in our body in the first place. So, no plastic, you guys. Be mindful of that. And also cooking with heat. Sometimes finding the right time and the right amount to add to a dish will make a huge difference in how the flavoring is. If you're working on sauces that you're cooking over the stove versus baking the item, you want to be mindful that there is flash off. These oils are aromatic compounds found from plants, so they're very volatile. And so when you're cooking with these oils, you might want to be mindful. You tend to want to maybe add more drops, but that actually could, change and alter as you're cooking. So this is a really fun science to work with. I would recommend you start out with these recipes that I'm showing you today to explore and experiment to see how they're working. Different measurement methods here are to help you be mindful of that. First, you can use a toothpick. A toothpick is a great way to just dip into the essential oil bottle, and then you can take that toothpick and stir in your sauces and different things that you're working with. Then you can taste it, see how it tastes, then go back and do another dip in there and see if you need a little bit more, right? This allows you to put the smallest amount of essential oil into your recipe. One drop, if you're going to be putting the drop in the recipe, we suggest that you take that spoon and put the drop onto the spoon. That way, if several extra drops come out of the bottle, then you have it managed before you introduce the oil into the recipe. I have other ideas that I'm going to show you with. Um, I like to actually add the essential oil to the sugar or to the salt so that way it actually is easier to have it stretch out over all of the recipe or the batch, right? Several drops can preserve the flavor while baking and cooking with heat. So be mindful of what these recipes are and make notes. Like if you like it to have a stronger flavor, or maybe that was too strong, make notes to what that would be. Okay. Okay. So as we're going through this, I wanted to actually there we go. Um, share with you some of the ways that I like to do this. So here's a pile of sugar, right? So you can actually take essential oils and maybe take 2 tablespoons. This recipe is 2 tablespoons of sugar, and maybe take the tangerine and put 2 drops in there and stir it up and see what that flavor is. You can try adding that sugar to your tea or adding that sugar to a salad recipe. Maybe to your water or whatever you feel that you wanted to add sugar to, right? And you might even consider, like in your tea, you may like the flavor of the cinnamon or cassia essential oil. So you can go through and take a toothpick and use that to stir in your tea, adding some honey or something like that. And you'll be amazed on the flavor and the impact that that really enhances your recipe. So again, I like to take a pile of sugar, put that in a little bowl, add 1 or 2 or 3 drops of the essential oil of your choice, stir that up really good, and then you just infused the flavoring of the essential oil inside that sugar. Okay, so as we go through, here's a baking recipe for bread. This is a wonderful recipe. This bread recipe is very similar to the breads that you have in India. And so, if you were to go through and look at this rosemary essential oil by adding 4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a cup of milk, butter, and then 2 drops of rosemary essential oil, maybe adding some herbs just to give you the texture. Like in this picture here, you can see the little herbs in there just to have that extra texture there. Go ahead and preheat the oven to 450 Fahrenheit. And my computer made a little weird shape on that. I apologize for that. Um, and then you just go ahead and roll this out and go ahead and throw it in the oven. And this is just a wonderful way to maybe even use some of the dip recipes that we have here. Eat this bread with your salads and spaghetti dishes and things like that. So I thought it'd be really appropriate to start out with this recipe. Another recipe, another baking idea is if you love to bake, like I love to make cookies and pies and stuff. And I found that these blends of these essential oils, a few drops of ginger, cardamom, cassia, and maybe add them to an empty essential oil bottle and mix that up. And then you can take 1 drop of that and put into the pie crust, or 1 drop of that and put into your sugar. So you can add it to your cookie recipes. You guys, these blends are amazing. You can start experimenting with different things, but really, just really fun way to do that. Okay, so just like sugar, you can take the essential oils and actually add it to salts. We love to talk about Himalayan salt or ancient sea salt. There's a lot of really wonderful, different, healthy salts out there. Avoid the bleach salt that they've taken the iron out, and that really is probably a reason why we have a lot of issues with our thyroid and things like that. So consider having some pre-done salts and make some salt recipes where you can add different oils like the ginger and rosemary. And you can use that to sprinkle over your spaghetti dishes and salts, or different things that you like to put salts on. I love a recipe where you can take tomatoes and cut them, slice them up in little slices, lay those slices on a plate, and then take this rosemary salt and actually sprinkle over the top of the tomato slices. Let it sit for about 5 minutes. Then take those tomato slices and add them to a salad. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so incredible. Now, here's another fun recipe that you can do if you love to eat meat. You can take and make some rubs. This is a rosemary garlic rub where you can blend up these salts and then rub that over the meat and then let it cook in the oven. And totally just an incredible recipe to have on hand. Then we have marinades and sauces. So lots of wonderful essential oils again that you can use to make your own marinade and sauces for making that really powerful punch of a dipping and dipping your meats in as you're eating. Here's some fun recipes that are really great for a marinade with rosemary in it. This is a balsamic vinaigrette. So if you were to go through and add olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and salt, you can put that on chicken dishes and even shrimp or seasoning fish dishes. It's just really a very wonderful way to go. And if you tend to like a sweet and sour marinade, going through and again using balsamic vinegar, adding honey, and then adding this tangerine or even wild orange essential oil. And you guys, it's just really wonderful. Okay, so now here's another dish for Italian seasoning blend. And so you can go through and add basil, thyme, marjoram, oregano, or essential oil, or any combination of those oils. Now, I know some of these oils may not be available in India. Some of you had been part of our pre launch program and may have those oils in their kitchen. And so this would be a fun sauce to make. Just love it. Now, also consider making vinaigrettes. Vinaigrettes are a wonderful way to pump up your salads and have a wonderful dish. And here's a wonderful recipe, including the lime essential oil. And again, you can go through and use different citrus oils. Try it with the tangerine. Try it with different oils to see what works well for you. Here's a dip. This is just an incredible dip. If you love hummus, you can take a can of garbanzo beans or make your own garbanzo beans and 2 cloves of garlic and 2 tablespoons of organic cold pressed olive oil and 2 teaspoons of tahini. And tahini is like a sesame seed peanut butter, and then juice of lemon, and then 2 drops of lemon essential oil and 2 drops, or excuse me, 1 drop of rosemary essential oil. You guys, this is such an impactful flavor. And you know that bread recipe we had earlier? Dip that in this, and oh, you guys will be in heaven. Okay, so here are some essential oils you can use for tea. So I know tea is a very favorite pastime for tea time in India. And these are wonderful ways to pipe up or pump up your tea. On guard, of course, we're talking about ginger, lemon, or tangerine essential oil again. We can go through and talk about the cinnamon bark essential oil, the peppermint. All these oils do have, um, wonderful uh, support for our bodies. And so if you go through and want to build up your immune system, then reach for the On Guard. And I love that. Um, it has a little bit of a burn around your lips and stuff, but it's not going to hurt. It's just a hot oil because clove oil is inside there. And it's just a good way to pipe up your tea. Now, here's a wonderful recipe that's a ginger pear green smoothie recipe. And I figured that we are in the wellness consult arena where we want to teach people how to have really good health. And what a wonderful way to pump up some taste buds in the morning. I love to do my smoothies in the morning. And I actually have a pear tree, so making this recipe is one of my favorites. Adding fresh spinach, adding Greek yogurt, and almond milk. It just really makes it a beautiful, healthy, wonderful way to start your morning. I use a smoothie to take my supplements in the day and just love it. So I hope this was helpful for you. I just wanted to give you an introduction of some recipes to use as wonderful baking blends that the doTERRA put on sale for the month of December. And these recipes you can use all year long. So explore. Let's have fun with it. Get wild in the kitchen and just take time to write down those recipes as you're experimenting. And I would love to have you share those with me so we can see what's happening in your life and what people are saying about your exploration of the essential oils. So again, thank you so much for joining me today with learning about the essential oils and how the holiday baking set could be a part of your life. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Go ahead and write down on the uh, below and let me know your questions and hear us tell us your recipes and push like that you like this and share it too. I'd love you for that. And thank you for joining me again. Becky Raney, All In on Oils and Essential Oils for India. Take care.